Hello all, welcome back to my channel, and we are painting a beautiful sunset today. I will start in several minutes. We will wait for you to join, to prepare your materials, and please let me know that you can hear and see me well. Yeah, still waiting. I think yes. We can see and hear. Thank you very much. Then I can start. Actually, I love painting sunsets because it's some kind of a challenge. They can be so different from very calm and peaceful landscapes to some dramatic skies, waves, etc. That's why it's important for me, hi, to start today with a peaceful landscape because it requires less challenge. So I've chosen for a pinkish sunset. Why pinkish? Because you know that yellow is rather tricky color, because if it mixes with blue, you can get the green in the sky that you don't want. That's why if you want to paint yellowish and orangish landscape sunset, you can always check this tutorial on my Patreon. The link will be in the description to this video. But today, here live, we are painting this beautiful pinkish landscape and sunset. I will say several words about the structure of today's workshop. As usually, this demonstration will be recorded. It means for you that you can paint now, or you can paint also later on. You can rewatch this video as many times as you want, because it will be saved on my YouTube channel. You can also start now, but if you cannot paint the same tempo, the same pace I do, just stop whenever it's convenient for you and continue later, because the video will be uploaded exactly after the stream is finished. So the same minute it's available to rewatch it. And yeah, so the algorithm, so the plan for today, we start with a sketch, with composition, because composition is rather important and it's one of the most required topics to share, how to build harmonic composition. Then we will learn wet and wet technique. That's my favorite technique. And after that we will start painting. What I will do, I will first start with the sky and then with the water. So I will divide my painting into two stages so that it's more convenient for you to do it in two steps. And we will also discuss how to make transitions in water and in sky, and how to paint reflections. So this is the plan. I will magically turn on another camera so that you can see my table and you can continue seeing me and also the reference. I hope it will work. Yes. You can see the reference now, and you can see me and also my paint. So I first start with analyzing the composition, and you remember the reference. I hope you all have it. If you don't have it, you can always find it on my Patreon. So this is the reference. it's a horizontal orientation, but due to that fact that I love the vertical ones, I'm going to change it. I made a pencil drawing. It's also available on my Patreon, so if you're a free member there, you will find it and download and also make a trace if you want. So this is my composition. So actually I cropped the initial photo. Moreover, I cannot crop that so that the boat is more to the right, just because the photo is done like this, yeah, so I cannot crop it. But I cropped it this way, and I will move the boat. So why I'm moving the boat? Why I'm cropping? I'm cropping because I love vertical orientation. While I'm moving the boat, because for harmonic composition we do know that we never place anything in the middle, also the horizon line. Here you can see that horizon line, so the place where the water ends is a bit upper than the middle line, and it's good. It can be also a bit lower, but never exactly in the middle of your paper. So you decide where is your horizon line, up or down, depending on what you love more, the sky or the water. I love the water more. That's why I'm putting more place for water and less for the sky. That's my logic for the composition today. I hope you are going to paint with me now, and we will start with pencil sketch. The paper, as usually, is 1 cotton percent. It's super important, yeah. 100% cotton, 300 grams. It can be Hahnemuhle, ash, whenever you want, but it's important, especially for painting on wet, because for wet we need a very good paper. And with the pencil drawing, I'm starting always with the landscape, with the horizon line. So I hope you can see this also well, and we are starting. Thank you for joining today. I really appreciate that you paint live with me, and would be also cool if you share then your result in social media, tag me, or also put the link to this stream that more people have the opportunity to paint, so they see and they know that such cool tutorial is available. So that's the horizon line, I think a bit lower, but never in the middle, yes? I will make also these 2 rows of mountains. They are rather small. That's the darkest one. And upper is a smaller one. Though this is smaller than this. I've checked it. And then we start drawing a boat. Actually, the boat is not that easy, but checking the ratios is very important. With that, I mean, let's check the size of the boat. So how many boats you can place from one side and from another side? So usually the typical mistake is then we make a very big boat, like from here till there, and there is not a lot of the distances to the edges of the paper from both sides, because this is still the landscape, it's not the portraits of the boat. That's why it's important that mine is placed here. So I think, okay, one more boat can be placed from the right and 2 more boats from the left, because I want to move the boat to the right. So that's one thing, where to place the boat. Then how close the boat should be to the horizon. Due to that fact that we see a lot of the sea, and we also see this nice reflection, and I want to say this reflection, I need to move the boat upper. So you can check that between the horizon line and the start of the boat, there is just, I don't know, 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters. So that's also important. So we don't place the boat here in the middle. So let's start. I will do like this. Yes. If you have any questions, just ask. So I'm first making the general shape of the boat, and then I'm checking if it fits my initial plan. One boat is here, 2 more boats can be placed here. Before I'm going further, I'm checking the ratio between the length of the boat and the height of the mast. Let's check. So this is the size, and now how many of them can fit? Like 2.5. So I'm checking now my own, if it's enough place to put 2.5. It's not enough place. It means that this part will be exactly here. It means that my boat is too big. So I will make it a bit smaller, so that the mast will end before the paper ends. Yeah, so now I'm happy. After that, I'm starting to make the deck, the cabin. It starts like this. Then the place where you can place also the windows, it's a bit bigger. So this is the place for the window. The window is here. I also see a bit of the part which is behind, like, and the upper part of the cabin, just as a triangle. Yeah, you see here is a triangle, and then some more. I don't know the names, but I think some of you who are involved in sailing sport, you do know all these names, because I don't, unfortunately. Then I will start in with the mast. The mast is here in the middle. And here, and we first make the line. How long it is, again, we can check. 2.5, right? Like 1, 2, so till here. Yeah, so it's very tall. That's important when you always check. Then you check in all the ropes, where they go. So like one goes till here. Done. So this sail comes to this place and also starts from here. So that's the place. So the sail like rolled around. So this is not the rope. I will make it thicker. Then I also see here the sail. It's rather low. I'm also checking where it is, like very low. And it's here, and it ends before the cabin stops. Yes, so it's not long. It starts here. So like here. And from this place we also have the rope. The rope here. Then we also see somewhere here this. So these are some details. Some ropes come here. It doesn't really matter if you count all of them, but at least some. What's important is the ratio when you draw a boat. The ratio is how big is this and how many of this you can fit into this place. Because typically what I see with, especially with the beginners, and they make the boat and they make very short mast, and in this case it looks a bit childish. So it's important that you check always how tall is the mast. So it's everything with the pencil drawing. And now let's discuss the colors. You can still continue with the drawing. Yeah, this is the mast, so I think I will make this a bit bigger. This. You can also find the list of needed colors on my Patreon, or also I think in this description to this video. And usually I use paints from Rosa and from Daniel Smith, sometimes from other brands. So the colors for today are ultramarine blue. I will do like this. Look. So for the sky, I'm using ultramarine. If I want to make it more purplish, I never use purple. I can add either Alizarin, either Opera. If your opera is super bright, like Mugello opera is like neon color, please use then Alizarin or Opera and Alizarin, because it's two neon color you will get. So it will be just normal opera. I think this one is from also Rosa. Yes, this one. So this is for the sky. For the warmish part of the sky, I will add cadmium orange. Please check that your cadmium orange is PO20. If it's not, for today, for pinkish sunset is okay. But in case you want a yellowish, orangish sunset, it's important to have PO20. You can always check on the tube whether this pigment, that's the name of the pigment. Yeah, so it is PO20. I think not a lot of brands have PO20 inside, even if it's called cadmium orange. Sometimes they add a bit of some bright yellow, and then we get green in the sky. That's always unwanted, I think. Then I start with the mountains there. They are bluish, but I do know that the sky still, the color of the sky influences of this bluish part. That's why from this side I will add also a bit of warmish colors. And this blue I can mix with cadmium orange to get this very sophisticated blue. The color of the water is the same as the color of the sky. That's always so, because water is just the mirror. I always have lavender, I don't know why. I don't know whether I'm going to use it, but I think I will, because I just love this color. And I can be adding it to the sky or to the water or to the mountain. So it's just as a substitution of ultramarine. It's just lighter because it contains white, but yeah, I just love it. And I'm going to use neutral tint for some blackish places like the boat. So these are my colors. My brushes, big one for watering the paper, my main brush for painting. If you have bigger piece of paper than me, or even the same, I think it's 18 to 27 or 28. This is natural brush I can use for bigger areas. This is wolf, but you can use also petit gris or something, or it can be also a synthetic brush, but should be bigger than your main brush, because the sky and the water are rather big areas. I will be using some small ones, one for details like all the ropes, and I'm not sure, but it can be that flat synthetic brush, but I'm not sure. I will see how it goes. Sometimes I say, okay, I can do everything with one brush. It's true, we can do it with one brush. But if there is another brush that helps you, that makes your life easier, then use it. If you don't have it, no worries, you can use a round one. Yeah, so it's just an option, but it's never like very important thing. What's important is this brush and this brush. So these two are really important. I will prepare my brushes with magic spray. Not brushes, sorry, my paints with magic spray. It's just water, there is no magic there. Yes. I will wait for you like 30 minutes, 30 seconds before we start. I'm checking now my plan. So composition we discussed, wet on wet. For those who paint with me not for the first time, you know that I love the technique and I use the consistencies that are very important for wet and wet, and these consistencies are first of all cream consistency. For cream consistency we always mix very thick. So when you take the color and you make it ready on the palette, it's very thick. If you move your palette, this place never moves. Yeah, so this blue is just in its place. And if you start painting with this, it's so thick that you can see these white gaps. It means it's the right consistency for wet and wet and for dark places, for shadows in particular. If you look on the photo, I think you will see where we have this consistency. We will have it here in the mountains and here in the reflections, because mountains and reflections will happen on wet paper. That's why I will use this consistency for these two places. And as agreed, I will start first with one part when it is dry, or still when it is not dry, when it is ready. I will continue with the next one. So it's important so that we have less stress painting everything together. I will wet my paper from both sides, from back completely, from front only this part, because I do want this to split. So I hope you are ready with the pencil drawing. I'm starting to wet my paper. The more movements you do, the better it is, because the paper is getting wet from inside. So it's wet and it's now rolled, you can see it, right? So it means that it's wet, not enough. So I have to wet till the paper is absolutely flat. Only after that I turn it. So the more movements, better. I didn't make a pencil drawing look for the reflection on my painting, but you can see it here, it's there. So just to understand that the reflection of the boat is here and the mast is here, just as a suggestion. I forgot to make it here now, but it's not a big problem, right? So a bit more. And it's becoming flat. I will start. So I'm not going to use any yellow, yes, again, because there's a high risk to get greens, and if you want to have more information about how to paint in sunset with yellow, you can always find this information on my Patreon channel. So today we are focused on pink. Color theory is a very interesting topic and so big. You cannot manage it by just having one workshop. So till the horizon line, yes, I'm making that. You can ask now why I told you to make it only till the horizon line, but I'm adding water here. I'm making it so just the paper sticks to the board. It's the only reason. Because if it's not, the water comes under and it will be drying quicker. So only till the horizon line. So it's done. I remove all excessive water around. And while my paper is soaking in water, I will prepare the colors. So, color number 1 for the sky up is Ultramarine and a bit of pink or Alizarin. I want a bit of purplish. Yes, so like this, also thick, so it's purple. That's color number 1. When I'm going a bit lower, my color should change, and I'm adding more of alizarin and less of blue, or more of pink and less of blue. So I want the color which is more reddish and less bluish. so like here. Also very thick, yes. And separately I am preparing cadmium orange, and that's important now to change the consistency. For changing the consistency I am adding water, so it's becoming very watery. Yes. So these are the colors for the sky. Immediately after the sky is done and it's not shiny anymore, I will start with the mountains, and the mountains will be the following colors. I'm taking ultramarine and I'm adding a bit of orange. I will get very nice grayish color. If I mix, I never mean 50 to 50. It's like 70% of blue and only 30 of this one of orange. So it's bluish, but bluish grayish, something like this. This will be from left, and from right I will show that the sun is from the right. That's why this part of the mountains will get a bit of this orangish color. And here's different ratio, look. Here I have more blue, here I have more orange, but the colors I used are the same, blue and orange. Can be a bit like pinkish, but I want both of these colors for my mountains to show that the sun is from the right. So I have the colors done. I hope you can follow me, and before I'm starting, so it depends how much time it took you to mix the colors, I'm wetting this area again and removing all excessive water, so adding, removing. I'm taking a bigger brush. Usually when you take a bigger brush, you notice that it's not enough colors mixed. It's true, I know. And it should be rather thick. So like this. It's shiny. I have to wait 30 seconds. There is no angle on my board, so I don't want that it bleeds everything down. Just with horizontal movements. Left, right, left, right. Clean dry brush, I'm taking pinkish that I mixed, and I'm starting not here but lower and going up. That's how we can make transitions. So I'm starting here and coming up till they mix together. That's the key how you can make very nice transitions. I want that this is a bit darker, that's why I'm making this thicker consistency. And going again here. So that's important, that coolest color, which is purplish bluish, is darker than your next one. That's important. Now I'm changing my brush for synthetic one, because I have to add now this orangish waterish effect, and it's not a big place, that's why. And again, I'm starting from down to up till they meet, and bigger place for oranges here. And I can also put it upside down that it bleeds a bit there, so play with it a bit, some drop. The same dark, and again upside down, and after that I will put the paper under my sky. The paper will take all excessive water. If you want, but this is blend a bit with clean dry brush, never add water. Yeah. So I think that I'm done with this place. Just I will check that there is not enough. Yeah, I cannot start with the mountains immediately. I see that my paper is so shiny, so it is so bright and wet that I have to wait, otherwise my my mountains will go crazy. I am starting with this brush, with synthetic one, and I'm taking oranges, this one. You remember that it should be thick. So orange, and I add in it. Yes, I can see it. Adding also a bit of this color. And then I'm taking this bluish, the same brush, so that's the first amount, and now I'm doing the closest one, the same colors but less water, so it should be more intensive color. So the consistency is so thick. So that I see the difference, that one mountain is further, another is closer. That's the time to add a bit of lavender. I don't see my further mountain, so I'm adding just a bit. And bluish till the end. smooth transition, yes. If it happened that the further mountains is a bit too dark, you can always lift a bit the color, it's possible. Always clean, dry brush, and after each stroke you clean your brush. This is just clean, dry brush, so I'm doing nothing. Now it's the time to start with the water, and the water is the same color as the sky. There is only one moment that we also have the reflection here. There are two types of reflection. One reflection is the boat reflection. So the boat itself, the mast, the ropes, this reflection is very close to us and we will make it on dry paper. But the reflection of the mountains, which is here, so these blue are reflection of the mountains, they will happen on top of our water, because the initial color of the water we can see here, so it's bluish lavenderish, that's pinkish, a bit of orangish, also light pinkish. That's the initial color of the water. So we first make the water, then while it is still wet, with very thick pigment, with cream consistency, we make these reflections of the mountains. So that's important to separate reflection from the color of the water. This idea how I make it is the same as something would happen if I add the clouds here. Because if you look on my other paintings, you can see the clouds. So the clouds always come on top of the sky. Ready sky, then you add the clouds. So here is the same, ready water, and then we add the reflections. How to manage the situation that this is still wet? Variant number one, you make it dry with the hair dryer, and then you make this area wet again, or you leave like 1-2 millimeters gap between this place and this, and you don't fill it with water. That's one thing. And additionally, you put the angle under the board, so you can, for example, take the tape and you will get the angle. This prevents water go into your sky to ruin your sky, because water usually ruins, you know that. It first helps, then it ruins. Yes. So I will wet my paper now, the whole of this part together with the boat, except this place of the boat, which is the cabin, because the cabin is not pinkish, the cabin is bluish. So the cabin I will make further on dry paper. So I'm making it wet, and remember about this 1 millimeter gap between the sky and the angle. And again, lots of movements. The sky will start painting from up to down. The water will start the same, but vice versa, from down to up. drops, I think. So I blend with absolutely dry brush. That's important if you want to blend. So again, big brush and the same colors. The same way, it's just a mirror. Upside down. Yes. So bluish with pinkish. Very thick. And I'm starting from down. So it's color number 1. You remember we had it there. Very intensive, but it is so watery that it won't be that intensive, don't worry. Then color number 2, it was more pinkish. Like this. Then the watery color for orangish. I think it's time to remove this. I hope it's dry now. I put some water, I think. You see? So that's the water that's happened. I even don't know from where. Perhaps from this brush. So if it happened, just don't touch it with water or with color. Just forget about that for now. So orange pinkish, yes. I'm working now with big brush, but when I want to come closer here, I cannot do that. I have to change the brush. And very accurate, without any water. I'm adding this color. So no water, just pure pigment. Clean dry brush, pulling that there is a connection between these two places. Again, adding darker colors. Here is a bit pinkish. So this is just the color of the water. Left, right, till you meet the orangish place. If you want to add some waves, you can make it like this, but we don't really see them on our photo reference, so we can skip it because it can be like too much information if you paint it for the first time. To make smoother transitions, again, I can put it upside down or this way so that colors bleed a bit inside. And then I put the paper so that it takes all excessive water. I cannot start now with my reflections because it's too watery now, so I have to wait 1 minute or so, and during this time you can always ask me questions. No questions means I think that you paint hard, working hard. So this is the illusion of the waves. The topic of the waves is so big that we cannot cover it with the topic sunset together. Yeah, but it's usually on my Patreon. You can find more tutorials, also the waves and the breaking waves. So I'm just now playing with the waves, but it's not obligatory. Again, if you have experience, you do it. If you don't, you don't, because it's already still the water, right? So now that's the time that I start with the area of the reflections. And here, that's so important to use synthetic brush. It can be round or it can be flat. And consistency. Consistency should be thick, cream consistency. So I'm taking the color of the mountains. It's blue, a bit of orange, very thick, yeah, and a bit of alizarin. I will also add it. And very thick, that's super important. And what I usually do when I start like on this wet place, I'm checking how much pigment I have. So I'm first taking the paint, then I'm removing a bit. The movement should be quick, because if they are very slow, then the brush gives too much water. I'm leaving in between bit of gaps, and I continue to make lines. So either round brush or flat. Flat gives, I think, better control. Try not to cover everything with blue so that you have a bit of this pinkish. In between. And this big space between the mountains should be also left. Yeah, this light one, light line. I'm even coming through the boat so that there is no gap here. It's darker there and it's less water. It looks like this water drops from the ceiling. Yeah, like here. It's interesting. Mix more. So the paper is wet, but due to that fact that you use very thick paint, you can manage it. Because nothing bleeds crazy. It bleeds just a bit. Less strokes here. Yeah, they are shorter and more solid there. Because here we see like almost the line. Because the reflection is getting less solid when it's further from the object. It's meditation now. Making thick mixtures is super important. These waves are almost gone. Yeah, so for now I can stop, and later on I have to continue on dry paper for making the boat and the boat reflection. How is it going with you? Do you paint? I added here something. And with this I have to invent something. So today I think you will see how I can correct this. But not now, because it has to be dry. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the hair dryer. That's why I will turn off the voice, otherwise it will be too loud for you. And when it's absolutely dry, I will start with the reflection of the boat and also with the correction here. And again, during this time, you can ask your questions. I think you can hear me again. Do you see this spot? It's not wet. It means that the paper is damaged. So sometimes when the paper is stored not in proper conditions, usually it's in the shops, it happens that the first layer is damaged with the gelatin layer. If you buy blocks, usually blocks are in plastic foil, and there are no such issues with blocks. But with sheets, with big ones, as I usually do, sometimes it happens. So it means that this is the place. You also see this white edge a bit. So this place, yeah, was damaged. You cannot do anything with this, unfortunately. Yes, you cannot see it from the back. It's a pity, but that's why I usually say never buy the paper for future. Paper can, especially if at home, if you have air conditioner or if you store close to the heating system, it can be damaged. So that's happened with me. but I don't know whether it's like at my home or in the shop, but here it is. Yeah, so let's start with the boat. I remove the tape, and if you look on the boat, you will see that it's rather dark. I can use a neutral tint or something darkish you have, can be indigo, or you can mix neutral tint yourself out of purple and burnt sienna, and it's orange, orangish place to show that the sun is from the right. And the same is here in the reflection, and I will do together everything together, like the boat and the reflection. So I'm taking neutral tint, preparing also thick. So this is neutral tint, and separately I will mix orangish pinkish, but already thick because I need that it is darker than my water. I'm starting with a lighter. Yeah, I need to make it drier because here it's still wet. Sorry. Yeah, it's dry now, I hope, and I will start with the lighter for this part of the boat. And with darker color for the left side. Usually it's not good just to make it like with one color. That's why I will blend them together with just clean brush. And I will add lavender charging. Yes, I love charging technique when one color meets another one in a smooth transition. Putting again the angle. And now I will start with horizontal lines, very small ones, to make the reflection. So like this. Then I'm starting with the same colors as for the boat, yes? So this is the reflection of the boat, and now the reflection a bit with lavender, the reflection of the upper part of this cockpit place and the cabin. It's a rather small one. And then with dark, with neutral tint, I will make it the reflection of the mast. So the mast is here. Just very small ones. Usually it's becoming lighter here, so it's like getting a bit dissolved. And I'm also having here the reflection from this sail. To make in very thin lines, I'm holding the brush vertically. And now I will make also this sail, so they have to meet there. From this place, here is the line. This, and very light ones, so with a lot of water. For all other ropes, so they're not the same dark. There are so many of them. Like this. Yes. Now I will make the sail. It can be with any color, it doesn't matter. It's just very dark below, and upper it's lighter because the shadow is always down, yeah, in most cases. So very dark below. Yes. And now I can make also all these ropes. For that it's better to use a thin brush. It can be Schlepper brush or some other, and dark color, but not blackish. I'm still mixing a bit with lavender because the sky influences, right? No, I cannot make it. I have to fix this first, right? Yeah, so I have to mix the same color I had there, and we'll try to save it. So I will make the place for it, should be clean. I'm taking again the colors. So it was blue and pinkish and reddish, so I think something like this, right? That's a risk now. So I will wet the whole sky, but I will add the pigment only here. Why I wet the whole? Because otherwise it will be, it should be dry, it's not. Okay, I will try. So I made it. And I'm adding color only from here. And with clean dry brush I will put it a bit, blend it a bit. So no water, just the pigment. And now clean dry brush, very soft one. I'm making it. Yeah, I think it's better now. But now it's getting worse here. I think it's it's a paper. Oh no. Yeah. So I will add also water here. And again blending. So what's happening, I see when I add water for the second time, so something is like, the paper has been ruined. Yeah, it says about that it's damaged. But at least now you see how you can save the situation like mine. I have to dry it immediately. So I'm here again and adding details, but I think it's better now. So for the ropes, you never use black, you use something like mixed with lavender or neutral tint mixed with lavender, because the color of the sky influences a lot on the ropes. They are never black. Only for this place with a sail, I will use more intensive and darker, so more of neutral tint. And also for the mast. His mass is much thicker than the ropes. This we have to remember. All these details. I will just also use a bit of lavender to the cabin. The upper part of the cabin is lighter, but the side is a bit darker, just some. So some details, just looking what's there. Here is also the rope. It's anchor or something. And now I will add a bit of details. So there is detail here, a bit here. Some dots, some accidental dots, because we see them even if we don't know what do they mean, what are the names. So if you zoom, you will see so many ropes. Let's do them. That's neutral tint. This. For the window, I will add reflection to show that there is also the light on that window. If you want to make this bow, you can make it. I'm making it orangish. So big. And then the darker line below, and also the reflection. I will take also some lighter color, it can be also white, to add some of the details. now it looks like the white is super bright, but believe me, it won't be that bright because the white is becoming then later on less bright, so don't worry about that. That's my blackish. I will make this line really very dark to separate it from the cabin. Very light ropes, because there I also see more ropes. I will make, but very light, yes, because they're so far away on the back part, that's why. Orange reflects from that part because the sun is from the right. So I think we can stop now. What can be also done, I don't know if you want, you can add a bit of birds. Remember that the birds are also never bright, never black. It's lavender, dirty lavender. So rather small, upper, lower in different positions. So just the suggestion, yes, we are not making all the details. White hats. So I think we can stop for now, and I hope that you enjoyed the stream. I will now put the face like this. Yeah. So thank you for joining. If you have any questions, let's make this questions answers session now. I know that you are still in progress of painting, but if you have any question, just type it. I will answer, and I would be happy to see your paintings, and I hope you enjoyed all the explanations. You can also subscribe to this channel to press the bell, then you will get notified about further live streams or about further painting tutorials that appear here. I will wait a bit till I get some questions for you, and after that I will wish you great evening and success with watercolor. Thank you for the flowers. Yeah, thank you. So if there are no thank you, Julia. So thanks for joining, and I will see you during next tutorials. We will schedule more, I hope. Thank you, Galina, and have a great evening.